right now. Joining us to my left, East Carolina lefty Ethan Norby inside the Pirate Radio studios. Ethan, awesome to have you here. How you doing, man?
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and what you up to this summer?
Just trying to stay ready for USA coming up. Gonna throw some lives this weekend to some guys that are here. Get some pool time.
You gotta get a little pool time.
A little summer fun, but outside of that, just staying ready.
So the big news: invited to USA baseball, the collegiate national team roster. Could you get that invite and still play summer ball, or are you not playing summer ball due to that?
The plan wasn't to play summer ball, but It was one of those things where it's a once in a lifetime opportunity.
Yeah,
you can't really say no to that. Absolutely.
As far as the arm, how was the arm feeling at the end of the year? Like, could you have continued to?
Yeah, look, I mean, honestly, I felt better at the end of the year than I did probably in the beginning.
What do you equate that to? Why do you think that is?
Just giving my body more time to rest. I think I was doing too much early on in the season that I wasn't giving myself time to recover and all that. So at the end of the year, I kind of gave myself a little bit more leeway and was able to recover better.
Man, nothing seems to ever go as planned, and if it does, that'd be great. But Ethan, I remember talking to you before the season, and you were going to be the guy coming in multiple times a weekend and getting the Pirates out of jams, maybe getting saves, maybe long relief, who knows? But instead, you're the Friday night starter. So, how did you kind of adjust to that? Was it an adjustment for you, or were you just out there pitching?
Definitely an adjustment. I mean, I think I had a week's heads up, like, hey, you're starting rather than relieving. So that was definitely interesting. And, it's definitely a different experience relieving rather than starting. So you kind of have to adjust to that. The adrenaline boost is way, way different. But, just trying to go out there and do the same thing that I was doing.
Yeah. And, boy, it worked out for you quite well. What were the conversations with AK like that week and a half when you're told you're going to be a starter now? Is it like a total, realignment of what you were planning to do going into the year?
Yeah, just adjusting the plan accordingly. Building my schedule around all the starting stuff, and then throwing a bullpen rather than throwing multiple times in a week. All that good stuff. Just trying to keep the body right and keep the arm up.
Ethan Norby joining us. You got a question? You can get it in on YouTube. Jenny has a comment. I had the best time hanging out with Ethan's parents at the regionals. Well, good, Jenny. I hope they enjoyed their time as well.
I'm sure they did.
Earlier today, Jared Watkins talked to a Marlins reporter, Kelly Sacco, about Connor Norby and the impact he's made on the Marlins. He went yard recently. How's brother Connor doing?
He's been in a slump recently, but last night was helpful. Getting the home run off. But it's one of those things where you go through slumps during the season. You just got to battle.
It's literally just about every day. So you've got to short memory, I guess. Put it out. Yeah. I mean, if you're a starter, you pitch it once a week or whatever, but gotta kind of forget about that and move on, right?
And playing every day is probably even worse.
Oh yeah,
you got to go back the next day and just. Whereas I have like a week to think about it and get better from it. Where he's got the next day, he's got to be in there ready to go.
What is it, Ethan? Like, we were watching the beginning of this White Sox game. Sean Burke, I think, was the starter today, and had 2 walks, gave up a hit all in the first inning, and just couldn't find anything. And then innings 2 through 5, like he's I don't think he gave up a run. Like, what? Can you explain that to us that don't play?
I've actually had very similar issues. I think last year I did a lot too. Was just coming out of the gate like on attack. I think that's the biggest thing. Is like you're kind of sometimes you can ease into a game rather than step on the gas right away, and that's kind of a struggle as being a starter. Is that you have to step on the gas right away rather than letting them find their footing and getting a couple swings off and making you a little bit more uncomfortable, honestly.
And I like asking pitchers about this too, like the stuff, because I hear, hey, today I had my stuff. Last game I didn't have my stuff. What's the stuff, and how do you kind of fight through it if you're not feeling your best?
The good thing is, like, I've 6 pitches, I think now. We've added a lot over the past couple years, but so like it's good having a lot, but at the end of the day, it's hard because some days you won't have the slider, some days you won't have the changeup, so it's just kind of always having to battle something there's never going to be a day where you feel 100%. And if you do feel 100%, then, go out there and dominate. But, you always got to just have that internal competition with yourself to go out there and compete no matter what you have.
Ethan, great regular season, but postseason Norby was fun to watch as well. How about the run you guys went on as a team in Clearwater and the 2 wins over Florida, and then you're individually what you were able to do?
I mean, more than anything, we had a lot of fun during the conference tournament and in that regional. I mean, we were, we had the house money, as Coach G liked to say.
Yeah.
We were just trying to, go all out, and we knew that we had to win everything to keep moving on. So. That's, we had really no pressure on ourselves. No one expected us to be there. So it was fun just playing with no pressure.
It's supposed to be reversed, Ethan. You're supposed to have the no pressure during the regular season. Then when all the stakes are up, you have the pressure. Somehow y'all reverse that.
Yeah, I mean, that's typically not how a Pirate season goes, I would say. But, we ended up in the same spot usually as we do. And unfortunately, we lost in the regional. But I think it was very successful at the end, seeing how well we came together, and hoping that bleeds into next season for sure.
Ethan Norby joining us. Jared, can I ask about Kevin O'Sullivan one more time, or are we done with it?
Yes.
Okay, we got to do it one more time. What in the world did you see firsthand?
So I actually was walking in with Parker. I was right next to him when the whole thing happened, and he walks by, says what he says, and it's one of those things where you're taken back, and I'm like, wait, and then Parker's like, are you serious? And I was like, and I was thinking the same thing, like, are you kidding? And he's like, no, I'm not kidding. Like, then continues to go on his rant. I was like, wow. Like, I was genuinely baffled that a SEC coach, a national championship coach, said those crazy things.
He was mad at the world, but you just don't think a coach is gonna. I mean, no. Have you ever experienced that with an opposing coach?
Never.
I mean, like, I saw the Brian Bailey tweet, and he was like, hey, yelled at site reps and all that stuff, and like, I'm literally in the dugout taking pictures, getting videos, and Jenny's like, yeah, they yelled at Parker too. And I'm like, of all people,
they were yelling at our training staff. They were yelling at everybody.
Yeah,
it was crazy.
And who was it? Was it Dixon we talked to? Apparently one of their players, he said.
That was Jake Hunter.
Yes. Yeah, it was,
Their injured shortstop or something fired up the pitchers while.
Wasn't it Colby?
It was Shelton, yeah.
Colby Shelton, yeah.
Yeah, he was chirping at us because they were doing in and out, and, we were apparently walking off the field too slow for him, so, let's just say that got the Pirates ready to go.
Yeah.
Any victory sweet, any victory over an SEC team sweet.
That second one was really nice. I can't lie.
And we talked about your great performance, Ethan, but when the bats are going like that, man, it's got to make you feel even better, right?
Zero pressure.
Yeah.
Just go out there and do your thing.
And came up short, literally 1 run short of Coastal Carolina, and guess what? They haven't lost since then. They haven't lost in forever.
Tough team.
Yeah. I mean, do you have a rooting interest, or do you kind of just watch it as a baseball fan?
Yeah, I just try to be a fan. I think I wouldn't say it's cool to lose to the national champs, but, you can feel better about it, I guess. Knowing that they're on a, 26-game win streak. They're, crazy hot right now. So, I mean, they're fun to watch.
You just validated Jared by saying it makes us look better. I disagree, but whatever. How about and Colby Thorndike? Good grief, you couldn't write that. The granny in game 1, I think, against East Carolina, and then what he's been able to do in Omaha. But I asked Danny Beal this earlier. A lot of Pirate fans are rooting against Zach Root when he pitched, and I just want to get your take on it as a former teammate.
I mean, it's one of those things where. I mean, we always say the term, once a Pirate, always a Pirate. So I think we should stay true to that. And, obviously it didn't work out with Zach, but I wish him the best. We've texted back and forth throughout the season, just checking in on each other. And, he's genuinely a good dude, and he's just an ultimate competitor. And I really respect, his game and, how much success he's had this year. And, I'm just excited to see the next part of his career.
I even saw it on social media today, and I've seen this a lot where they say, I don't like him because he quit on the team midway last season, and to which a gentleman with the last name Shinkman, who I'm assuming is a family member of Watt, said, you have no clue what you're talking about. So I don't know, could you squash any of that?
Yeah, that's nonsense.
Yeah, okay. So
if you know Zach, you know that he's going to go out there and compete every single time, and that's what he did.
All right, there you go from Ethan Norby. Well, Ethan, you are returning to East Carolina, and man, I can't imagine being, a college athlete with your ability, eyeballs on you. A lot of pressure, I would imagine. A lot of people maybe tugging at you. But what was the decision like in that process like to come back to East Carolina?
I mean, my family obviously played a big factor in everything. My brother and my parents obviously had a lot, of the say. But, more than anything, I just wanted to finish it out. I committed in 22 so that's about 3-4 years ago now.
Yeah.
And, I made a commitment that day that I was going to be a Pirate. And
what year were you in high school when you committed?
Going into my senior year.
Okay.
I was actually the last recruit in my class.
Gotcha.
Interesting little fact there. But, yeah, I mean, I just want to finish it out. That's my goal.
And, I don't, say anything negatively about somebody that does leave. It's their life. It's not mine. They make their own decisions. And Connor probably would have understood that, but he might have punched you or something if you'd have left.
Connor, I think I'm way more understanding because Connor, that was a different time in college.
Sure,
baseball.
yeah, true.
With now the transfer portal, you kind of have to adjust the way. I mean, it's more of a business now than it was back when he was here. And
look, loyalty, teammates, commitment, all that, but at least a little bit of that pie chart. Maybe was Team Boneyard 23 Club. How important is that for fans to get involved to help keep guys like Ethan Norby here?
I think it's super important for fans to get involved with that. It played a little bit into what my decision, but at the end of the day, we need to get some of the best players in the country, and honestly, they're going to be a big factor in getting them. So.
And man, in today's world, and sitting here every day, I see all the transfers and everything. So it's like nothing to me anymore. But fans still are trying to get used to this new world of college athletics. So when they see Jarrett, 14, 15 Pirates enter the portal, I think the sky is falling. I look more at the returners and not just the quantity, but the quality of returners. I think it was a great haul for ECU.
I agree. Obviously some of the guys didn't work out, and wish them the best. But at the end of the day, we returned a lot of really good players, and I think that's what the fans should be looking forward to. And
how about when you watch a freshman, hit that last month or so of the season? They're almost not freshmen anymore, and we saw that with Austin Irby, what he was doing, right?
He's my roommate, so I get to see that on a daily basis, and he's like a little brother to me, and I'm super proud of him and the way he battled back after struggling the first half of the season. But it was awesome to see him just dominate. I mean, it was flat out one of the craziest hitting streaks I've ever seen.
Couldn't get him out.
No.
And I don't know you personally, Ethan, or him, just from talking to you, you seem like a laid back dude. My view of him, just seeing him smile and his kind of, it seems like maybe opposites attract thing. Is he kind of a big personality?
Yeah, definitely a big personality for sure.
I could see that.
He's definitely very outgoing, but he's a good kid. Means well.
No doubt, no doubt. We'll have Riley Johnson on the show next week, and we talked to Jake Hunter a couple weeks ago. And Ethan, now you are, it's crazy to say, right? But are you an elder statesman now, a leader? And
I guess I'm the vet, or one of the vets. I don't think I don't even know if we're gonna have a senior. No,
I mean, Parker, look that up.
Parker's gonna be
P-Bird.
Only senior. So, all of us juniors are gonna have to step up and take some older ownership in the leadership roles and all that good stuff. But yeah, I was just talking with D'Lo earlier today, and I was like, dang, man, who would have thought we're in year 3 of this thing?
Yeah, man, it does fly by, don't it?
Just felt like yesterday we were coming in for our summer training because freshmen are about to get here next week. So that was fun.
Ethan Norby joining us, and man, awesome that you were invited by USA Baseball to the collegiate national team, and you receive an invitation just like Trey Savage, Zach Agnos, Carson Wisenhunt, Alec Burleson, Bryant Packard, Jake Agnos, and then going back, Pat Watkins in 1992. Just awesome stuff. Of course, Cliff Godwin has coached for the team for a couple of years. So, first of all, what did that mean to you, man? That's a big deal, right?
Yeah, it's just, extremely blessed to have that opportunity. Representing your country is one of the greatest, probably accomplishments anybody can have, and honors that anybody can have, because, at the end of the day, you should have pride in, where you live, and I, have pride in the United States of America.
So is this a kind of a tryout type thing, or are you on the roster? Or
I'm not really sure, honestly. Yeah. I think it is kind of a tryout. We'll see. Hopefully, I don't go in there throwing, 86, 88, but no, I think we're good. I threw a bullpen the other day. We're looking pretty good.
Good deal.
So if you're on that team, will you go to Japan? Or,
Oh,
yeah, dude, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to. Hopefully, I'll be a crazy experience.
How you say you threw a bullpen the other day? How much you throwing weekly now? Like, what's your regimen?
So I threw, I kind of took a couple days off right after the season, but pretty much ramped right back up. Thrown a bullpen last Thursday, Tuesday, and then gonna throw lives on Saturday, and then probably gonna throw another bullpen after that, and head down to USA the 27th, and then throw there the first time the 29th.
Y'all's schedule is crazy. The baseball player like Jake Hunter ends his career at ECU, and then a few days later he's starting in a game. Kalinic is playing every day with the Yard Gnomes. Like, I would assume you would want a little time off, but do you miss being out there and the energy and the?
I do miss it. Obviously having the time off is very important. Just after the grind of a season and emotional loss like we had, like you need some time to just reset. And obviously I think it's harder for somebody like Jake,
sure,
just ending his college career, but I hope he's doing good up there. And where's he at?
He's playing with the Fredericksburg Keys.
Yep. Wish him the best up there, no doubt.
Question from Jamie: how do you stay hydrated playing in this kind of heat? Is it all about pickle juice?
A lot of drip drops, a lot of gallon water jugs. Just trying to mix that in as much as possible. Our training staff does a really good job at keeping us educated and all that stuff. So
I asked Danny, I said, hey, you pitchers like heat, right? And he was like, well, there's a limit on it.
Yes.
There's like.
So, yeah. Well, the Florida heat, so there's a thing called the Florida arm, which is you literally walk outside in Florida, like in the conference tournament, and you just are warm, like you're hot, like you're ready to go, and like just a little bit of tack on the ball.
Okay.
Just from the moisture in the air, it's amazing. I miss the clear water. That was really fun.
Is it different than Greenville, North Carolina?
Yeah,
okay.
Just because the air is a little, just more humid.
Gotcha. All right. The Florida heat down there. Yeah. Ethan Norby joining us. A couple more minutes to go. Ethan, you're watching, obviously, the Marlins with your brother. You are a Minnesota sports fan, right?
Yeah.
You keeping up with the Twins at all? What are they doing?
Not really. I don't know. I've really taken a step back from the baseball world outside of, obviously the Marlins. But, I know that the Timberwolves are trying to make some moves right now. Vikings are, doing their OTAs, all that good stuff.
Who took down the Timberwolves?
They lost to Thunder. Yeah.
Oh, in the Western Finals?
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? I mean, you're trying to get there for the first time ever.
Yeah.
Is that still a successful season if you don't make it to the championship?
It's good to see us go that far. We haven't had a championship since I've been born. So that's
like in anything.
Yes. The last championship was 91.
Unfortunately, I remember that.
Yeah.
As a kid, I cried when Kirby Puckett and Kent Herbeck lost to or beat the Braves.
So what do you think about KD? Timberwolves in that.
I don't love the idea just because he's 36 years old and
got to give up a lot,
expiring contract, all that jazz. So not loving that. But
I think one of the biggest question marks this NFL season is what are the Vikings like? Well, what is JJ McCarthy?
I'm excited.
I don't really think it matters what he is because he did what he did with Kevin O'Connell did what he did with Sam Darnold.
Oh my gosh.
So
okay,
that's what I'm thinking too. Is that the system.
You got a couple of the best receivers.
I mean, I don't think it's going to be 14 wins this season. Schedule's obviously going to be tougher, but I think J.J. McCarthy has a bright future.
I mean, you got Justin, you got Addison, T.J. Hawkinson, all those guys.
You like J.J., though, as a quarterback?
I do. I like that he's young.
Yeah.
We haven't had a young quarterback in a while.
It's a good point. Like, who are the quarterbacks since you've been watching? with the Vikings? Like, have you had
so
at the
from
Kirk era? Who was before that?
Kirk, you had Keenum and Bradford.
Yeah, that's not that.
Teddy Bridgewater was like the last, I guess, young quarterback.
Yeah.
You had like Ponder before that.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Were you watching when Favre was on?
I was 4, so probably not. But
We don't talk enough about Minnesota not having a franchise quarterback.
no,
Yeah.
we've really never had one.
Because even before that,
Fran Tarkenton's been our greatest quarterback.
like Brad Johnson was there in the 90s, I believe. And then who was Culpepper, and
Culpepper
then
was probably the
Randall
second
Cunningham. Old man Randall had a great year. But yeah, Culpepper was supposed to be the next guy.
Yeah.
That's right. So yeah,
Crazy stuff.
where quarterbacks go to die. Maybe JJ McCarthy can fix that.
Well, nobody just wants to go to Minnesota to play. I mean, it's cold as crap. Man.
Yeah. I'm just ready for him to make some plays and get some new highlights
Yeah.
other than that one Raiders preseason game.
Yeah.
Every highlight package they show, he's just torching the Raiders in the damn preseason.
That's all they got.
That's all they got.
Please play another game. Ethan, good stuff, man. So what is the what's next for you? When do you start your USA activities?
27th, I'll head there the 27th, and then the 29th, I think, is going to be my first outing.
Good deal. And I was going to ask you too, like, were you involved in recruiting players back to East Carolina, or even talking to prospective Pirates? Like, how involved
I've
are you
talked
in
to
that?
a couple prospective Pirates.
Yeah.
Haven't really talked to, bringing anybody back. I was just going to take a step back from that just because it's not really my place, I guess. But, I'm excited for everyone coming back. And, we just got a new commit today. I was actually talking with them last night.
Pitcher?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited. The Lenore Ryan guy.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see him.
Good deal. Well, Ethan, good luck this summer, man. Good luck with Team USA, and we'll catch up with you again down the road, man.
Yes, sir.
Glad to have you back for another year.